Hello, it's me, like it is, and I'm trying to find out what the subject to talk about. Well, you know, uh, all right, um, what's I'm trying to think. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to think about something. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about this is a Cuban American woman. She's from Cuba. For some reason, she thinks she's white, like puro blanca. And I'm sorry, I know I'm not Cuban, but not all natives were killed. I saw your video bashing Mexicans, and just let you know that you no, you're not. All Mexicans are not racist. Not everybody is like George Lopez. The ones who want to take over United States, which I sometimes feel they should, because and I'm not being a sellout. I'm part indigenous too. I'm not just African American. I'm also French, Creole, English, Irish, and I'm now subscribed to the one drop theology belief system. There's no longer a law, and this June is going to be the anniversary of that law being abolished. Okay, because Love versus Virginia case in the Supreme Court made it clear that it's unconstitutional. Any state that's practicing the one drop rule and refusing to acknowledge you as a multi-race person, because you have a right ever since the census allowed people to check more than one box. In 2000, when the multiracial category was denied to be on the census due to minority rights groups doing what the Klan want them to do, that's why. So I talked to a lawyer about this. As a multiracial person who sympathizes with the Hispanic community, who also is part Hispanic due to his mother's mixed background from Louisiana, because she's from Texas, but my mother's tracing, I traced over to England, but one of our ancestors was last name Real. That's a Spanish last name. And so, and I did in speaking Spanish for 22 years, and being in living in staying in El Paso, staying in the east side of Harris County, Houston. Being around Latinos, I had bad ones, I had good ones. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I have a different experience. Because what I have bad experience with the Latinos, no different than those with the African American community. It's no different. Let me explain why. Because we both people of color, and I'm gonna say this. You complain about white men being racist, and you cannot be racist because you are a victim of it, but you participate in the power. It's no different, okay? Like I said, when I was in El Paso, when I was in the east side, I live in the hood now, most African Americans, and there are Latinos here too as well. But the same dudes, brothers who being gang banging thugs, no different than the cholos I was in school with, okay? No different than the cholos I was in the Job Corps with. No different. Just tell it like it is. Like I said, if I was a 100% Caucasian man who was racist towards minorities, period, I can write a book about both communities having their bullshit and sell it to Fox News and make billions and probably make more $1 trillion over Trump's income, okay? Let me explain that to counteract her video and excuse me, the Peruvian Mexican guy who bashes a black American, Coco black Americans were not pure black, and but then get mad about Latinos bashing Mexican, and I don't care if you talk about Mexican, yes you do, because you made a video about it, dude, just like it is, you love Latinos and this and that. Well, excuse me, you love me too. I'm part Hispanic, so if I do love Hispanic people, that's in my DNA that came from the Spanish part of my mama's ancestry. Excuse me. And I think that in my not to be cousin, But I'm going to bring a God in this situation. I think God allowed me to go to Hispanic school, allowed me to speak Spanish, allowed me to even flunk my class, to learn research my background last year on Answer.com, to know who I really am, not like the white racist demonic ideology of who I am, which is aka the one drop rule, define me. I see a lot of evil in that BS. Point is, when I and you want to suck my what? My mixed BBC. Remember that conversation? You came on my channel 2013, A3, and asked to suck my dick. I don't want you sucking my dick. You're not a fucking female, okay? Let's get that straight. Unless you superhead, who is part Hispanic, African American, and white. Yes, she is. Read the confession book of Villa Vixen. Her mother is Jamaican, black Jamaican, Puerto Rican, which is Hispanic, and also Danish. Her father's African descent. No, until he got some white and American in him. But let's call it like this. And he's from the Virgin, and her mother's side is from the Virgin Islands. So that's what she is. She is part Latina. And I actually, I'm sorry. I mean, I had to be careful to get her STD test. But if it's any woman, I'm sorry, it had to be Superhead. I'm sorry. I read that book from the front cover to the back cover back in 2006. I was in love with Superhead. A lot of things, I don't like the stuff she's doing now, and I sympathize. God rest his soul. Carl Winslow passed away, but the guy who played with Carl Winslow's son, Eddie Winslow, one of her other husbands, ex-husbands, I sympathize with him. And I feel sorry for what happened to him in a situation with Superhead. But with Kareen Steffens, I can relate because we had bad issues with our mothers. My mother didn't raise me, and I had bad issues with her father too. So and she's an August, but she's a Virgo. So I mean, my grandmother on my mom's side's birthday is her. And I'm August, the Leo part. But point is, I said she's 1 year older than me, and I can sympathize with her. Just her, what she went through as a child and stuff like that. So that's why I also love Kareen Steffens. And so to A3, stop fantasizing about some BBC that you want so bad. It's probably you said they're going to Latin American countries to fuck you. You probably or the fuck you. Besides the women, the sisters you probably sleep with behind closed doors that you're talking about. You probably sucking some brother's dick. So shut the fuck up, dude. I'm getting tired. You talking about we obsessed. You obsessed with African American community too. You talk more about us a lot, and I'm telling you this bullshit about this. I'm like I said, I'm making a part 2 of this video because I got 13 minutes of this fucking video. But I'm telling you, dude, shut the fuck up, homie. Shoes. Cállate, güey, pinche culero, way. Like I say, dude, I'm getting tired. You make some sense in your videos, just like the other Latino, Thomas Sotomayor, but both of y'all are just fucking annoying, okay? Seriously, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just tired of you talking about, and yeah, you are correct that the Cubans do come to, because the Cubans here in Houston come through Mexico. I speak Spanish. And every time I say, "Don't nieres," they say, "Yo soy de Cuba." I said, "Well, hold on, how'd you come here?" This was way before Castro died. And they would tell me to come from, through the border of Mexico to Cuba, to Houston. Houston Press did a article about that. And speaking that one of the famous Mexicans, actually Cuban wrestlers. Hold on, let me shout out to God. Besides the guy who played Carl Winslow, he passed away, and so did Chavo Guerrero. Remember I made a video about the Puerto Rican fight parade, the girls fighting. I mentioned it in I love women wrestling and all the other stuff. I like to see with love and hip hop. I love women wrestling, glory lady wrestling. Remember I mentioned about Brazil, how I used to do voodoo because all that y'all love Mount Fiji and all them people from back in the glory lady wrestling. Okay, and WWE with Jacqueline and Sable and all that. Let me explain something that you don't understand. You know Conan? Remember Conan? Baldhead Conan from WCW? Okay. Él es Cubano. He's not Mexican. He was raised in Mexico, but his family is from Cuba. Let's get that straight. So, yes, that's very true. Remember when Eddie Guerrero, because Chavo Guerrero passed away, so remember I mentioned that. But the reason I mentioned Chavo Guerrero and I mentioned the other videos because Ted DiBiase, who's now a preacher now, who exploited Virgil, the brother, as a butler. Remember him? And Sapphire, Sapphire was a sister owning WWE. Okay, Dusty Rhodes' girlfriend, the black girlfriend, okay. Coco, she not a pure black girl, so she passed away. You know what I mean, okay? The Coco black girlfriend. Okay. Well, that y'all see, when he was in Paul Bosch wrestling, and he's wrestling here in Houston, Collins, in Houston back in the 80s, and that's when old I am, because my grandfather had all them tapes, when he was alive. Excuse me, he called Chavo Guerrero the B word. And so when The Rock and everybody else talking about how racist the industry is, and Kamala was racist at the time. You know, he not from Africa, he's from Mississippi. He both got, oh Lord, pray for this man. Both his legs are gone due to diabetes, and he only got paid $1,000 while the Undertaker get paid millions. And Vince McMahon refused to pay Kamala, and he is racist. That's why when Hulk Hogan, when the thought Hulk Hogan was fucking with, it exposed his little racist ass, and I'm glad that because I used to be a Hulk Hogan fan too, and ain't no more. Fuck him. Excuse me. Don't forget that man had used the word nigga towards John Cena. You know, the wigger on WWE, the wigger. Okay, the wigger. Okay, the wigger, John Cena, and Booker T just look. And Booker T want to run for mayor for Houston, dude. You said that let that happen, dog. Oh no, you're not gonna get my damn vote. Come on, you pocha, excuse me, you cool right there. You should have let the fucking set. You know, your boss using the word nigga and trying to, please stop. But point is, so to the Cuban woman, I'm sitting here, I'm going to go on a subject. To the Cuban woman, there's a lot of things I found wrong in your video. The Mexicans are really racist. Excuse me, girlfriend. Excuse me. Bye. You just say you're of Spaniard descent. But in Mexico, they say, I'm Indian. I'm in India. Because you don't look all that damn fucking white. You're mixed with Native American and African DNA. You're Afro-Mestiza. Just like the Mexicans is calling you that. It's a racial amnesia with this Mejorada Raza situation. You came to the United States. You're saying you're white. You support Trump. When they deport the Mexicans, they're going to deport your ass back to Cuba, too. You don't fit the American pie, sweetheart. You don't look like a white woman. No matter how much hair dye and lighten your hair and maybe lighten your skin, it's all good. Do what you want to do. You want to do your body. But, at the end of it, I might put a relaxer in my hair, but I know that I'm African-American, French, Spanish, Creole, English, Irish, Native American, caramel skin. Okay? And do not look like a blonde, blue-eyed white man. Okay? Do not at all. Okay? I know that when I research my roots to know who I came from, besides what a white racist man's ideology of who I am to make me feel inferior with all this other stuff. Thank you. The one drop rule is the reason why we have the fear complex in our community. Let's get that straight. It's no longer a law. You sit here and talk about Mexican being racist, but you're being racist. Not every Mexican wants the Mexicans that you're talking about that you have encountered. Yes, there is bias between other Hispanics in other communities. You have Puerto Ricans and Dominicans fighting. You have Salvadorians and Mexicans fighting. You have Cubans and Colombians don't get along. Besides the Scarface movie, excuse me. You have all this other stuff going on. But you cannot speak for every Mexican and every Cuban. And you live in Havana. And like the one who wants to get to my nerves, a pocho, you a pocho as well, sweetheart. You also have Cubans who are discriminating towards African American descendant people in Miami. And also whites. White folks talk shit about Cubans. Did you know that? Yes. White people who are non-Hispanic descent talk shit about you. And I met white folks from Cuba who talk shit about you Cubans. So make a video about that too. Part 2's coming up.